welcome back, Paper Stack Snackable. My name is Rick Allen. I'm here with my esteemed colleague and friend and buddy and partner, Brett.
Yeah, what's up?
Brett Jonathan Burky.
Oh, there you go. It's the full name.
Yep, don't get that. I used to get the full name when mom was pissed. Richard Lee Allen III. I'm like,
That's not good.
You know, when she uses the full name, you're in trouble. So, but
Yeah, no, I was trying to change the middle name. It's supposed to be Brett Maverick Burky. I was named after Brett Maverick, and so I was like, "Why'd you have?" She's like, I just didn't name you Maverick." So at 40, I was gonna change it, but
that's never too late.
yeah, I know. It's not that important, but
no. So, all right. Well, we're back with Snackable, trying to share some knowledge with you. I think you got some pretty interesting ones, pretty interesting topics today.
yeah. So this one's something that kind of was like when asked, I was like, that's interesting. Like, so based off state specific, if a house is the same, let's say for hypothetical, a house is $200,000 in state A, $200,000 in state B, same interest rate, same equity position, exact same mirror images of each other, but they're in two different states. As using state as the only determining factor, what determines why you would invest in certain states over others?
Great question. I think we touched on a little bit around this in some earlier episodes, but one of the first, one thing I would consider, and this would be up front, would be, is it a judicial state or a non-judicial state?
Yeah, which follows up on one of our last
Yeah, one of our other snackables. But the reason for that is because that's going to greatly determine, like, look, not necessarily you're worried about that if things are going great with the asset. You're hoping for the best, but you're always planning for the worst. And this is for if things go bad and I got to foreclose or take this house back, what do the laws look like to get the property back? Am I up against a judicial state where I got to go through the courts, or is it a non-judicial state where I can do share sale much quicker? We're talking 90 days versus judicial. We're talking could be years, measuring in months, not days, potentially years. So that's one key factor that I'm looking at. Another key factor is, where do I have a team assembled? Where do I have boots on the ground? Right? Which would kind of tie into how familiar am I with the area. The more familiar I am with the area, the more boots on the ground. If I've got a contractor in the general vicinity, I've got my established agent I'm working with. I've got, I know what's going on in that area, that community. That's going to heavily determine where I'm going, and it's really just because I want to know that I've got boots on the ground, and that's going to say dollar for dollar, state for state, this is where I need to be.
Interesting. That makes total sense.
And then, something else to consider on a state to state is, look, if it's a $200,000 asset in Florida versus a $200,000 asset in Idaho. Like, I know population-wise what's going on in Florida, getting, thousands of people moving to the state of Florida new every day, right? So I got more demand. If I take the house back, my asset's probably going up in value. That's a huge determining factor. Like, is it an area of the country where people are moving to, people want to be?
I think Idaho's actually, now with everyone leaving California, it's like,
Idaho's growing too.
Yeah.
But
Montana.
Montana's another great state. They're all, you could find...
I'm going to offend somebody in one of these states.
Yeah, whatever. But you could find something positive or negative about each state. But for me, it drills down into the state of, like, look, what's going on with that state? Is it easier to move? Something else some people would look at is state income tax.
Oh, that's true. Why would that affect your...
Well, just what people are moving. Like, Florida doesn't have a state income tax, right?
But we got Florida man, so that makes us all...
We got Florida man. Yeah, we do have that. That's kind of like the balancing thing. But no, that's something to consider. And then kind of like what should probably be the first thing, but something else is going to be the state licensing. Do I require a license, a debt collector's license, or a specific license to buy and own and pursue collections of debt in that state?
So that might be the opposite way too, where it can actually be an advantage if you are one of those people who have that license.
100%.
Like there's a couple people on PaperStack that have Georgia licenses, and of course they have the safe search. A lot of people that don't know, they start to learn to get into it, and they're like, "Ooh, I can't buy in Georgia without getting this license." And some of those
Right.
people have said, "Wow, this will basically knock out all the competition."
Right.
And we just have a couple people that they know the rules. They know there's some things in Georgia that I did, that you have to do wedding on certain things. There's some other document that needs to go. I don't even think it's called a deed of trust. It's called something else. It's like its own thing, and at least right,
Like
right,
the PTO 6 document that goes when you transfer a deed.
something like that. One of the guys who buys, he's always like, I need to get this. And it's like always a special document signed.
Yeah, it usually it accompanies, like if it's a contract for deed, whenever you're doing the quitclaim deed or the warranty deed, it's something that it just goes with that and gets recorded. So
That and other signatures, right? That one's that's like two
signature, two witness signatures, and then it's there's some states that have certain verbiage in the notary. Instead of saying I certify, it's like I attest, or it's just state specific laws would be kind of probably the overall governing factor that you would look at, because you don't want to be doing something illegal, buying a debt, or ignorance is no excuse. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. You should know them if you're buying debt. So you that should be the governing factor, but that's kind of the one I mentioned last, because you saved the best for last.
I did?
Well, I did, but
Oh.
yeah, we did. So
What about servicer? I mean, the fact that you're servicer.
sure, a loan servicer. There, Pennsylvania. It's real tough for people to find servicers in Pennsylvania. There's a select few. So if I've got an asset that one's in Pennsylvania and one's in Florida, and it's like, look, it's tougher to get a servicer for Pennsylvania. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find that one. So a lot of different governing factors, all of them kind of common sense and specific to each individual investor.
Yeah, that's. I will just direct people to this video next time, because that question stumped me. It was something where it's like, what is? No idea.
So we shared 10 minutes of knowledge, or probably by the time we got this recorded, it's only going to be about 6.5, 7 minutes of knowledge, but whatever.
Well,
we
don't cut out the ums.
We don't cut out the ums, but it's the stuff that leads up to it. So the text with our kids and stuff like that. Anyways, Snackable, send us your questions. If you got some other reasons why you would do a state-specific that govern your choices on which states to invest in, leave them in the comments. Let's get the conversation going. We're actively monitoring and happy to discuss those with you. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.